Tonight, Nathan Fillion is a guy for all media, checking in on Sean Levy's Star Wars film, Who's In on Doomsday, Nintendo Switch 2, plus we remember Patty Maloney, Clive Revel, Val Kilmer, and Jay North. All that and more in this edition of Multiverse Tonight! Welcome to Multiverse Tonight, your source for geek news. We dissect films, games, comics, and much more, bringing you insightful commentary on pop culture. This is Multiverse Tonight. Now, here's your host, Thomas Town. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 267 of Multiverse Tonight. I'm, of course, your host, Thomas Townley, and, it's getting warmer, at least. The weather has finally cooperated. We've got our last false winter this past few days, so we're back to spring. It's getting warmer outside, warmer when people's thoughts turn to, well, outdoors. Let's face it. And my thoughts turn to things like head canon. I've been thinking over the past few days that the the Frasier series just takes place in Frasier's head. Remember that episode of Cheers where he was going to jump because Lilith was leaving him? What if he jumped and everything in Frasier was just, in his head? Maybe. Good thought as any. I like doing these little thought puzzles, if you will. It's interesting to see what comes. And of course, we've had some crazy times here in the United States, thanks to the orange monster that's in the White House and his toady, trying to raise prices. Don't look at your 401ks, America. It's a crap fest. Mine's down like $1,300, or $1,300 or so, and it's just the beginning. Now China's threatening more reciprocal tariffs, and that's caused some problems with Nintendo. But we'll get there later on in the show. Let's go first to the Star Trek news. And Star Trek news, and this is going to be a short one, begins with Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which has dropped the first teaser for its upcoming third season. The first look at the Paramount Plus series, which can be seen online, teases 10 brand new adventures aboard the USS Enterprise during Christopher Pike's years, including a murder mystery and the return of Paul Wesley as James T. Kirk. The new season will also resolve the second season finale cliffhanger, which saw the Enterprise crew locked in a fierce battle with the Gorn that left Captain Patel and her life hanging in the balance. So, here's the kicker: instead of giving us a date for the show, instead they've given us coming this summer. Well, thank you. That's very vague. June, July, August. I guess it's any one of those months, but I like to have this type of stuff planned out. Anyway, let's go on to the DC Comics news. And DC Comics news begins with HBO's upcoming DC series Lanterns, which has added Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner, one of the multiple Green Lanterns in the cast. Now, this will by far be Fillion's first time playing a Lantern. He debuted as one of DC's green heroes in the 2011 animated film Green Lantern Emerald Knights. In it, he was the voice of Hal Jordan, one of the other big Green Lantern members. Now, he also played the role again in 2012's Justice League Doom and 2013's Justice League The Flashpoint Paradox. Also, 2015's Justice League Throne of Atlantis, 2018's Death of Superman, and 2019's Reign of Superman. Each of these animated films is a straight-to-DVD release. In 2023, he was cast as the Green Lantern in James Gunn's live action film Superman, but as Gardner instead of Jordan. Now, this film opens in theaters via Warner Brothers this July, and they released a new teaser trailer for that. Ah, man, this looks good. I won't lie. This looks good. You know, my only big thing is they're using the Kingdom Come S on his chest, but that's peanuts. I'm if you can make me look at this man and make me think that this is Superman and this is Metropolis and it's not as dark as the last dreary crap, I'll be fine. Anyway, we'll have some more news later, but let's go on to the Star Wars news.
Roger, Roger.
Sean Levy's currently untitled Star Wars movie in the works at Lucasfilm just got an update from its writer. First announced in 2022, updates about the film have been sparse until the end of February when Kathleen Kennedy confirmed that it will be set 5 years after the Rise of Skywalker and feature all new characters. Now, it has been reported that Ryan Gosling will star in the film, but he is currently the only name attached to the cast. Collider's Christina Radish recently caught up with the film's scribe, Jonathan Tropper, to promote his new project, Your Friends and Neighbors, and while he admitted that he couldn't spill too much information, he did provide a brief update on how development is going on the film. After confirming that it blows his mind every day to be working on a Star Wars movie, he told Collider, quote, "That gig is something I've dreamed about my whole life. We're still working on it for various reasons. I can't say anything about it, but we're working on it." Now, Levy is fresh off the heels of Deadpool and Wolverine, the only Marvel movie of 2024 that turned out to be one of the most successful franchise entries in the franchise history. Levy is also the secondary director on Stranger Things, trailing only series creators Ross and Matt Duffer in their directorial credits. Now, it's been confirmed that he will helm at least one episode in the fifth and final season, coming to Netflix later this year. Levy also further stretched his sci fi muscles a few years ago with The Adam Project, the Ryan Reynolds led time traveling thriller that also starred Jennifer Gardner and Mark Ruffalo. Levy first worked with Tropper on The Adam Project, and now the two will reunite for the upcoming Star Wars movie. Tropper will also write the script for Lucky, the upcoming series starring Anna Taylor Joy and Timothy Olyphant. Timothy Olyphant, one of my favorite names to say. Now let's go on to the Marvel news. Marvel news begins with the X-Men, which one of Marvel's powerhouses and the main reason that it's returning to the team for a one-shot that ties into one of the best X-Men stories of all time. Writer Chris Claremont took over writing the X-Men with 1974's X-Men number 94 and wrote the team until 1991, giving the X-Men brilliant stories like the Dark Phoenix saga. Now, there's another amazing X-Men story from the early years of Claremont's run, which is Days of Future Past, with artist John Byrne. Now, Days of Future Past showed readers the dark dystopian future for the X-Men, which has become part of the major part of the X-Men mythos. Marvel has returned to Days of Future Past multiple times over the years, and are about to do again with Chris Claremont's prelude to Future Past number 1, which releases in July of 2025. This book celebrates Claremont's 50 year plus as a writer at Marvel, and the publishers decided to spice the whole thing up by adding in a rare Claremont story that was once only available in an out of print hardcover called Marvel Made Paragon Collection, Chris Claremont. Quote, "Revisit the nightmarish world of tomorrow that is Days of Future Past in a revelatory prelude by the legendary scribe and illustrated by his extreme X-Men collaborator, Salvador Larroca. Discover at last how the surviving X-Men saved one of their own, Rachel Summers, from her torment as a hound, and find out which surprising faces have vital part to play in the mutant resistance." Present alongside the original saga in which Claremont and John Byrne unveiled their darkly dystopian vision of the Marvel Universe, where Sentinels stalk the Earth and the X-Men are humanity's only hope until they die. The giant-sized one-shot will also include bonus material celebrating Chris Claremont's 50 plus years in comics history, according, according to the press release. Now, they also gave readers the first look at this comic with the cover from Salvador La Roca. So, time to revisit the days of future past, which are becoming the days of present future, I guess. Um, the big Marvel news, of course, was that big teaser that they put on for Marvel's Doomsday, Avengers Doomsday. Instead of bringing the entire cast of the Russo brothers' upcoming Marvel Studios movie Avengers Doomsday on stage at CinemaCon, the studio opted for a live 5-hour social media stunt during which it announced the cast via the actors' on set chairs. Now, the biggest news is that the announcement made it certain that stars from the 20th Century Fox and X-Men part of the franchise are coming back. Patrick Stewart will come back as Charles Xavier, Ian McKellen as Magneto, Alan Cumming as Nightcrawler, Rebecca Romaine and Kelsey Grammer as Beast, Rebecca Romaine as Mystique, James Marsden as Cyclops, Kelsey Grammer as Beast, and Gambit himself, meaning Channing Tatum, is also in for the fun, despite last seeing him in Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, these names are not just confirmations. We've known that for a while that the whole MCU gang and know those new to Marvel, such as the Fantastic Four's first step foursome of Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Joseph Quinn, and Eben Moss Backrack, are boarding the big Avengers movie, which is rolling cameras in London. Now, also confirmed were Chris Hemsworth's Thor, Annie Mackie's Sam Wilson slash Captain America, Sebastian Stan's Bucky Barnes slash Winter Soldier, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, Invisible Woman, Letitia Wright as Shuri, Paul Rudd as Ant-Man, John Kamen as Ghost, Wyatt Russell as John Walker, Tanak Huerta Mejia as Namor, Tom Hiddleston as Loki, Simu Liu as Shang-Chi, Florence Pugh, Lois Pullman, Danny Ramirez, Danny Harbour, Winston Duke, and the list just kept going until it ended, of course, with Robert Downey Jr.'s Doom. So, it's I there's probably way more that they're not telling us. This is just, hey, look at all this list, and then we get to the movie, and it's like they're just pulling like old Marvel stars in from everywhere. Yeah. So at least we got that to look forward to. Spider-Man: Beyond the Spider-Verse has finally set a new release date to swing into theaters. The Spider-Verse team appeared at CinemaCon on Monday to announce that the film will hit theaters on June 4th, 2027, 4 years after the previous entry. Now, Across the Spider-Verse set records for the franchise and they also showed the first footage from the new film. Miles Morales said in the footage, quote, "Everyone keeps telling me how my story is supposed to go. I'm going to do my own thing," unquote. Now, Bob Perschetti and Justin K. Thompson direct the latest sequel in the franchise from a script credited to Phil Lord, Chris Miller, and David Callahan. The release date has been one of the most speculative after it fell off the release calendar back in 2023. It previously was dated for March 29th of this year, just 9 months after Across the Spider-Verse. So, well, again, more good news. Something to look forward to, and we need a lot to look forward to right now, I tell you what. Let's go on to the geek news. And we begin geek news with a new season of South Park, which will premiere on July 9th, promising overflowing toilets, ketamine, and a space traveling Diddy. Plus, a violent war against Canada breaks out in the trailer for season 27 of the series, co-created by Trey Parker and Matt Stone. In one scene, Butters is in an air traffic control tower as planes explode into each other in the background, saying, "Oh crap, we're all going to get fired." Now, the trailer begins with an ominous live-action scene of a desolate swing set and the wing of an airplane. The acclaimed drama returns, it reads, before snapping into South Park's classic animation style. So, again, more good news. We need something to watch in July. And South Park always is good at, putting silver linings on dark clouds. Also coming, The Simpsons, Family Guy, and Bob's Burgers have locked a massive 4-season renewal at Fox, according to Daily Variety. In addition, American Dad will be returning to Fox, likewise with a 4-season renewal. Now, it's previously been reported that it was previously reported in March that American Dad was nearing a deal to return to Fox, the network that originally launched the show back in 2005. Now, it's been airing on TBS since 2014. Linear reruns of American Dad will continue to air on TBS and fellow Warner Bros. Discovery Networks Adult Swim and True TV until at least 2030. Now, 20 the according to this quote, this new deal celebrates the eternal popularity of these iconic comedies, as well as the enduring prolific relationship we continue to enjoy with our friends at 20th Television Animation and the brilliant creators that goes double for Seth this time around, and incredible voices behind these contemporary classics, said Michael Thorne, president of the Fox Television Network. Now, the renewals will take Bob's Burgers from seasons 16 to 19, Family Guy to seasons 24 through 27, American Dad to seasons 20 through 23, and the record setting 37th through 40th seasons for The Simpsons. And I will admit, I am way behind. I just have not been able to sit down and watch the current episodes of these shows. You know, what can I say? Time has been getting away from me. Time is also getting away from Nintendo. Nintendo revealed the exciting details about its newest console, the Switch 2, and a lineup of games at a Nintendo Direct this past week. The Switch 2 will launch on June 5th with a price tag of $449.99, which boasts a sleek design with a larger 7.9-inch LCD screen supporting HDR and detachable black Joy-Con controllers that will serve as wireless mice. The console also features a built-in stand for tabletop mode, a C button, a built-in microphone for online chat, 256 gigabytes of storage, and compatibility with RED game cartridges that enable faster data reading. Additional features include a camera add-on for video chat and mini-games, and wireless classic GameCube controllers to play retro GameCube titles, which will be available on Nintendo Switch Online. Among the exciting new games announced were Mario Kart World, a groundbreaking open world entry in the Mario Kart series, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, the third installment in the Defying series, the Dusk Bloods, a gothic action title from Software, Kirby Air Riders, a sequel to the 2003 racing game, and Donkey Kong Bonanza, an open world Donkey Kong game. The Switch 2 will also support upgrade versions of popular Switch games like Super Mario Party Jamboree, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, and will be compatible with a wide range of new titles including Elden Ring Tarnished Edition, Hades 2, Street Fighter, Split Fiction, Madden NFL, Hogwarts Legacy, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, Hitman World of Assassination, Yakuza 0, Borderlands 4, that sounds like a battle, Civilization 7, NBA 2K, WWE 2K, which is a return of the franchise to a Nintendo console, Cyberpunk 2077, and Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now, unfortunately, Nintendo is delaying the long-awaited pre-order date for its new Switch 2 console, citing uncertainty caused by President Donald Trump's tariffs. The original pre-sale deal was supposed to be Wednesday, April 9th. As of now, the late spring launch date for the new console remains on track. In a statement, Nintendo said, quote, pre-orders for Nintendo Switch 2 in the US will not start on April 9th, 2025, in order to assess the potential impact of tariffs and evolving market conditions. Now, Trump unveiled these tariffs Wednesday in a meandering White House Rose Garden news conference. With future markets began sinking as he was talking, a baseline 10% reciprocal tariff was put on all trading partners with varying country-specific rates. China, India, Taiwan, Thailand, and Vietnam were slated to be hit with respective tariffs of 34%, 26%, 32%, 36%, and 46%. The European Union also faces a 20% tariff. The measures will take effect in stages during this week, and China has already said they'll retaliate with a 50% tariff, and we'll retaliate with a 50% tariff on them So yeah, the price of the Switch 2, your mileage may vary. It might behoove you to talk to your congressmen and senators about taking the tariff power away from President Balloon Pants. Anyway, let's go on with some more news. An adaptation of Stephen King's The Long Walk will finally be strolling into theaters this July, or this fall, excuse me. During its presentation at CinemaCon in Las Vegas on Tuesday morning, Lionsgate confirmed that the Francis Lawrence directed film will be released wide on September 12th. Now, the thriller stars Cooper Hoffman, David Johnson, Garrett Waring, Tut Nuit, Charlie Plummer, Ben Wong, Roman Griffin Davis, Jordan Gonzalez, and Josh Hamilton, with Judy Greer and Mark Hamill. Though it is not the first King book to be published, the novel is notable that is the reportedly the first one he ever wrote while he was a student at the University of Maine. Published under his pen name Richard Bachman, The Long Walk is described as a dystopian thriller centering on the contestants of a grueling and vicious annual walking contest that requires 100 boys to keep a certain pace without stopping. If they do, they receive a warning. If it happens again, they're eliminated and killed. The Long Walk has had a long road to the screen. It previously was set up at New Line under a different creative team. Lawrence has eyed the book since his days working on 2007's I Am Legend when it crossed his desk. So we're getting Stephen King's The Long Walk. Let's hope we all don't make a long walk as well. Hey, listen! The live action film adaptation of the Legend of Zelda video game franchise has set a theatrical release date. Sony Pictures will debut the adventure film co produced by Sony and Nintendo on March 26, 2027. The release date was unveiled Friday on Nintendo's new app, Nintendo Today, nearly a year and a half after the film was announced in November of 2023. At the time, Zelda series creator Shigeru Miyamoto confirmed plans for the live action movie on social media, sharing that the movie would be produced by himself and Avi Arad. So, are we excited to see? I, frankly, myself, I can't get excited until I see some footage. Give me, something to go on, because if it looks, you know, kind of like cosplay, no thanks. I'll pass. More movie news. Wes Ball, the director of the Maze Runner trilogy and last summer's Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, remains attached to helm the. Darn it. HBO continues to put together the cast puzzle for its high profile series adaptation of the hugely popular Harry Potter fantasy books. The latest major piece appears to be British actor comedian Nick Frost, who is nearing a deal to play half giant Rubeus Hagrid, according to Deadline.com. He would join John Lithgow, Janet McTeer, and Papao Iswede, who, as Deadline has reported exclusively, are set in negotiations to play Professor Albus Dumbledore, Professor Minerva McGonagall, and Professor Severus Snape, respectively. Warner Brothers has completed the sale we told you a few weeks ago for the previously shelved Coyote vs. Acme movie. Ketchup Entertainment today confirmed their completed deal for worldwide rights to the live-action / animated hybrid film that brings the Looney Tunes character Wile E. Coyote to the big screen. Now they had the deal pegged at about $50 million, with the film expected to get theatrical release sometime in 2026. Will Forte, John Cena, Lana Condor, and Tony Bell star in the movie, which follows Wile E. Coyote, who, after many Acme products fail him one too many times in his dogged pursuit of the Roadrunner, decided to hire a billboard lawyer to sue the Acme Corporation. This case pits Wiley and his lawyer, played by Forte, against the latter's intimidating former boss, played by John Cena. But a growing friendship between man and cartoon stokes their determination to win. Will justice finally happen for Wile E. Coyote, or will the Roadrunner silence him forever? Who knows? We'll have to see. Now, let's start a run of sad news, beginning with Patty Maloney, an actress who stood at 3'11", who passed away at 89 years old. She was widely recognized for her roles as the alien Honk on Sid and Marty Krofft's show Far Out Space Nuts and Chewbacca's son Lumpy in the Star Wars Holiday Special. Maloney, who had suffered multiple strokes, died in hospice care in Winter Park, Florida. Throughout her career, Maloney frequently collaborated with 3'10" actor Billy Barty, sharing screen time on the Wizard of Oz film Under the Rainbow in 1981, and various television shows including Little House on the Prairie, Charlie's Angels, and The Love Boat. Far Out Space Nuts, which aired for one season, featured Maloney as Honk, a furry alien who commanded through a horn on his head. Despite the character's lack of dialogue, Maloney's dancing and mime skills allowed her to express a range of emotions. In the now infamous Star Wars Holiday Special, Maloney played Chewbacca's son Lumpy. Now, the special, which aired in 1978, was even met with derision from fans and George Lucas himself. Maloney's Lumpy costume was made entirely of human hair, making it extremely hot to wear. Born Patricia Ann Maloney in 1936, she performed with a carnival and the Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus before attending the University of Florida. Following the death of her husband in 1968, she resumed her performing career. Now, Maloney and Barty were regulars on a 1978-1979 NBC variety show and a 1982 CBS special. Maloney also appeared in such films as The Ice Pirates and Ernest Saves Christmas, and various television series including Star Trek Voyager and My Name is Earl. Additionally, she provided voice work and operated the Crypt Keeper puppet on HBO's Tales of the Crypt. Maloney is survived by her brother, nieces, and brother-in-law. Patty Maloney was 89 years old. Clive Revill, the actor best known for voicing Emperor Palpatine in The Empire Strikes Back, died March 11th in Sherman Oaks, California, at the age of 94. Now, Revill's death, after a long battle with dementia, was confirmed by Variety by his daughter Kate. Over the years, Revill starred in Kaleidoscope alongside Warren Beatty, The Assassination Bureau with Oliver Reed and Diana Rigg, and played the Fire Marshal in Robin Hood Men in Tights. Revill also worked with director Billy Wilder on both The Private Lives of Sherlock Holmes and Avanti, which starred Jack Lemmon. Revill received a Golden Globe nomination back in 1973 for his role in Avanti. In addition to his versatile film career, Revill also appeared and guest starred in numerous television shows, including Columbo, The Twilight Zone, Murder, She Wrote, Alfred Hitchcock Presents, MacGyver, Magnum P.I., The Fall Guy, Wizards and Warriors, Remington Steele, and Star Trek The Next Generation. Notably, his 1978 Columbo episode featured Peter Falk's last appearance on the show. Revill also lended his voice to 5 episodes of The Transformers back in the 1980s and The Transformers the movie as Kickback. He also went on to voice other characters in the Star Wars video games like Dodonna in Star Wars X-Wing and Imperial Officer in Star Wars X-Wing vs. TIE Fighter, and 3 additional roles in Star Wars The Old Republic. He also had roles in cartoons such as Batman the Animated Series, Snorks, Alvin and the Chipmunks, and Freakazoid. Born in 1930, the New Zealand-raised actor got his start after being recruited by director Laurence Olivier. Revill made his Broadway debut in 1952's Mr. Pickwick after traveling to England before joining the Royal Shakespeare Company. He ended up appearing on Broadway 7 times throughout his career, receiving Tony nominations for playing Bob Lee Hutu in Irma la Douce in 1961 and Fagin in 1963's Oliver. In 2017, the actor said that he struggled being away from home, and he told the Dallas Observer, quote, "I had my doubts at one point when I thought, I can't do it. I can't do this. I can't find it within myself," unquote. Now, the actor's last on-screen credit was 2016's The Queen of Spain, where he appeared alongside Penelope Cruz and Antonio Racines. Revill is survived by his daughter Kate and granddaughter Kayla. Again, Clive Revill was 94 years old. And, this one hurt big time as someone who grew up watching this guy on screen. Val Kilmer died recently at the age of 65 and was an actor who was often underrated. He was remarkably versatile, excelling in a wide range of genres, including comedies, westerns, crime dramas, musical biopics, and action-adventure films. Now, Kilmer was born into a mid-class Christian Scientist family in Los Angeles on December 31st, 1959, and attended Chatsworth High School, where he developed a love of drama and had Kevin Spacey as a classmate. He was accepted to the prestigious Juilliard School in New York at 17, becoming the youngest pupil at the time. Kilmer would make his film debut in the spy spoof Top Secret, where he showcased his singing abilities. He also released an album and a book of poetry, His role as Lieutenant Tom Iceman Kazansky in Top Gun alongside Tom Cruise significantly boosted his popularity and brought attention to his personal life, which included relationships with high profile women like Daryl Hannah, Angelina Jolie, and Cher. He also portrayed the roguish hero Mad Mardigan in Ron Howard's fantasy epic Willow. Now, despite his film success, Kilmer remained active in theaters, taking on roles like Hamlet and Giovanni. In the 1990s, he landed the lead role in Oliver Stone's biopic The Doors, portraying Jim Morrison. His dedication to the role was evident in his weight loss, learning 50 Doors songs, and perfecting Morrison's on-stage presence. Now, Kilmer's portrayal of Doc Holliday in Tombstone and his role as Batman in Batman Forever were also notable. However, his reputation for being difficult on set led to conflicts with directors like Joel Schumacher and John Frankenheimer. In the early 2000s, Kilmer's film career plateaued. He returned to the theater, starring in productions like The Ten Commandments and The Postman Always Rings Twice. He also voiced Kit in a pilot for the television series Knight Rider, and directed a film about Mark Twain and Mark Baker Eddy. Kilmer was diagnosed with throat cancer in 2014. His Christian Science beliefs led him to have mixed views about medical intervention. In 2021, he released a documentary about his life, Val, which explored his personal struggles and experiences. He made a final appearance in Top Gun Maverick, where his character's illness mirrored his own battle with cancer. Kilmer will also be remembered as a complex individual and a talented but challenging actor. He prioritized his family and personal life over Hollywood fame. His focus was on his craft, as he once stated, quote, "I never cultivated fame. I never cultivated a persona, except possibly the desire to be regarded as an actor." Again, Val Kilmer, dead at the age of 65. And finally tonight, Jay North, a name synonymous with childhood mischief and antics, passed away at the age of 73. He was widely recognized for his iconic portrayal of Dennis Mitchell, the lovable yet troublemaking youngster, on the CBS comedy series Dennis the Menace, which aired from 1959 to 1963. North's death occurred at his Florida residence following a courageous battle with colon cancer. The beloved television show Dennis the Menace was inspired by the popular comic strip of the same name created by Hank Ketchum. The series chronicled the humorous escapades of young Dennis, whose playful pranks and unintentional mishaps often disrupted the tranquility of his long-suffering neighbor, Mr. Wilson. North, who was just 8 years old when the series premiered, continued to embody the character of Dennis until he was nearly 12 years old. Although the original series concluded in 1963, it continued to captivate audiences for generations through reruns and syndication, solidifying North's place in television history. North's journey in the entertainment industry began at the tender age of 4. He quickly secured roles in several popular television series of the era, including Wanted Dead or Alive and 77 Sunset Strip, before ultimately landing the career-defining role of Dennis Mitchell. During his time of Dennis the Menace, North also made guest appearances on other notable programs such as The Donna Reed Show and The Red Skelton Hour. He even showcased his talent on the big screen with a role in the 1961 film Pepe. Despite the immense success and popularity of Dennis the Menace, North later revealed a darker side to his childhood stardom. He disclosed that he had endured abuse at the hands of his aunt, who served as his guardian on the set of the show. North recounted experiences of isolation and punishment, even from minor mistakes or delays that were beyond his control. His revelations shed light on the often hidden challenges faced by child actors and sparked conversations about the importance of safeguarding their well-being. Following his time on Dennis the Menace, North continued his pursuit of acting. He starred in films such as Zebra in the Kitchen and Maya, as well as the subsequent Maya television series. As he transitioned into adulthood, North explored different avenues within the entertainment industry, including voice acting for children's shows. He also served his country in the United States Navy, demonstrating his commitment and dedication beyond the realm of acting. In addition, North actively worked with a minor consideration, an organization that provides support and advocacy for former childhood stars, drawing upon his own experiences to help others navigate the unique challenges of growing up in the spotlight. North's passing was met with sadness and reflection from those who knew him and worked with him. His former co-star, Jeannie Russell, who played Margaret Wade on Dennis the Menace, expressed her grief and fondly remembered North as her otherworldly brother. North is survived by his wife Sydney, who undoubtedly shared with him his joys and sorrows throughout his life. Jay North's legacy will extend far beyond his portrayal of Dennis Mitchell, and he'll be remembered as the talented actor and resilient individual and the symbol of the enduring power of childhood innocence and imagination. His contributions to the entertainment industry will continue to entertain and inspire audiences for generations to come. Again, Jay North, Dennis the Menace, passed away at the age of 73. And with that, that brings us to the end of our show for today. Please be sure to check us out on social media. We're on Blue Sky and Twitter at Multiverse Tom, Threads, Facebook, and Instagram, as well as at Multiverse Tonight. Now, if you've gotten some value out of the show and would like to pay it back, head on over to multiversetonight.com, where you'll find our Patreon and Ko-fi links. Check out our show notes and visit our TeePublic store and so much more. If you could leave some feedback, that'd be great as well. If this is your first time listening, thank you and welcome. Thank you for coming, and please hit that subscribe button and share us with others. Now, thanks to Hot Dope for the intro music and Lobo Loco for the outro theme music. Thanks for watching this edition of Multiverse Tonight. We'll be back in 2 weeks with more sci-fi and comic book news. Now, please exit the universe in an orderly fashion. Good night. Multiverse Tonight is a production of Half-Baked Genre Productions. Copyright 2025. All rights reserved. This podcast is part of the Pop Culture Podcast Network.